This program is scheduled for one fall.
Welcome, ladies and sirs, to the show that you are calling. This program is scheduled for one fall. I'm your MC for this evening. My name is SilentMark. Good evening. And I have two colleagues here with me who every week we're going to come on and talk wrestling towards you. I'm going to do this the way it should be properly done. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, he's a journalist, Beyond Radio's very own resident, author of Holy Grail, and also Johnny Fear's number one fan. It's Mr. Greg the Truth Lambert.
Well, you got three of those four things right, Mark, anyway.
Thank you very much. You got my name right, just about.
Just about. It's because I've got a mic, you see, right in front of me, dangling.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like Mr. Anderson's from the ceiling.
Okay, fair enough. How are you doing, Greg?
Doing great, thank you. It's been a fantastic week weather-wise.
Good.
And it's great to have a wrestling radio show on Beyond Radio as well, for wrestling fans and also for non-wrestling fans. Because we're going to be that entertaining, you're actually going to be converted, even if you despise, even if you hate wrestling. What is the matter with you? You need to get out of the sun and get with the beat baggy, as my English teacher once said.
Really?
He did. Okay. He was a big Jungle Book fan.
Fair enough. So I'm now going to introduce your opponent. Human being, co-host and co-creator of Another Monday Evening Show, visual person, well, he's on video for Alpha Omega Wrestling, and Shambles, Mr. Evil Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello!
How's it going, sir?
It's going very well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about this. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
It's going to be a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is going to be a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, from now until 10 o'clock, you're going to be here listening to us. Please get in touch with us because we've got a few things to talk about today. You can text us 07399 085508. I'll start that one again. 07399 085508, or you can email studio@beyondradio.co.uk. There's a few things we want to hear about from you guys in the show. There's a few things that we're going to talk about. We may just chat rubbish throughout the whole thing. You might not get in touch, but please do, because there are a few things you guys need to join in.
Why would you not? That's what I've got to say.
I have got no idea.
I can't think why you
So
wouldn't.
everyone is pretty much saying, gents, what are you going to talk about today? Mm-hmm. Evil Lewis, what's on your mind that you're going to talk about a little bit later on?
I've got a lot on my mind this week, Mark. So much. My mind is weighed down with the weight of so much stuff that is on there. But no, I'm going to cast my evil eye to significant happenings in the world of pro wrestling this week. I've been checking out what's been going on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, even TNA.
Oh, even TNA.
I know.
There's nothing wrong with TNA. Not anymore.
It's improved a lot more in recent months.
Not now broken Matt Hardy.
It's improved a lot more.
It's part of my life.
In recent months, thanks to the help of one particular individual, namely
Indeed.
broken Matt Hardy. I don't know. I'm just tempted to go straight into that because, but Matt Hardy, what? I'm lost for words.
Did you hear his podcast with Chris Jericho?
No, I still need to listen to that. Apparently it was amazing because he did it all, in character as Broken Matt. Something that started out, I feel like it started out as something that they were trying to be super serious with. And the kind of the segments they were filmed, there was maybe a little bit of influence from Lucha Underground with the kind of dramatic, almost movie-style segments, but so badly produced and edited that it was laughable. I don't know if it was originally intended to be fully serious, played straight, and then they gauged the reaction to it, and ran with it from there.
I don't think it matters, really.
I don't
think he's just incredibly
really
entertaining.
care.
Have we got the jingle, Mark? I programmed the jingle. It's the greatest
we've got the jingle
catchphrase.
somewhere.
It's the greatest new catchphrase in wrestling today.
In wrestling and in life,
to
Greg.
the point that I say it when the postman arrives in the morning and he puts letters through my letterbox.
Weirdly, it's the next one on the list.
Amazing.
Here we go.
Brother Nero, I knew you'd come.
There we go.
Oh,
I don't call the postman Brother Nero. I hasten to
do you
add.
call him Brother Postman?
No, because it's middle names, you see, Lewis. This is the thing. You see, it's the reason that he calls him Brother Nero is because he is Nero is Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy's brother's middle name. Because when he was on the Chris Jericho podcast, he said, Brother Keith, I knew you'd come, because that is Chris Jericho's middle name.
The more you know.
Indeed.
Huh.
So what would he call you then, Lewis?
Let's not go there.
Well, Lewis, I guess, because your first name's Evil, isn't it?
There you go. That's the one. We'll go with that.
Brother Lewis and your brother Mark.
I
Your
will be,
first
yes.
name's Silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
That's what we were christened.
Easily done.
Yeah.
That'd be so great to be addressed by Broken Matt as Brother whatever.
I think we should get him on the show to play piano.
That'd be wonderful. Or just Broken Matt Hardy in the corner, just like a jazz musician.
A piano solo, yeah.
We get Vanguard 1 can bring us crisps.
Yes.
I'm going to go on record, though, as saying right now that, in my opinion, Broken Matt Hardy is the most entertaining thing in professional wrestling in 2016. It's a bold claim, but for me, he is the best thing in wrestling that I've seen this year.
We'll go with that.
And on TNA?
We'll go with that. He's my star of the week, incidentally. He's my star of the week. More on that later.
TNA has
more on that later.
TNA has its fans, probably more so down to Matt Hardy, but it has its fans, both of them. And, I've stuck with TNA, or tried to, but sort of last year especially, I couldn't watch it. I would try. I would go in with the intention of I'm going to give it another chance, and I don't know, it was almost painful. I couldn't do it.
Eli Drake's good as well. Eli Drake is a guy you need to keep your eye on. Eli Drake has come out of nowhere for me. You know, he was part of the team what they call the Rising with Drew Galloway and some Samoan dude.
I don't know.
You don't even remember him.
That may have been before I was paying any attention to TNA.
That was last year, and he broke out on his own. And it took him a while to get going. He had a bit of a feud with Grado, which culminated in a really entertaining ladder match of the Feast or Fight briefcase. And then all of a sudden, Eli Drake gets his own talk show, where he's just basically he is nailing dummies. I don't mean literally nailing dummies everywhere.
He has his dummy button as well, which
the dummy button. We have a dummy button. Do we have a dummy button, Mark?
Dummy
yeah,
button
we do.
So good.
Dummy, yeah.
Hey,
there we go.
Nice.
That's right. So whenever any of those kids outside on the bowling green come in, we're going to play that, I think.
I think that's probably the last thing I'm going to do if they come in here.
Skulk around by the studio.
The thing is with TNA, for me, have they just realised what they were and are now playing it up? I realised they weren't taken seriously in some circles and are now working with that.
I don't know. I think they were taking themselves very seriously, which they're going to do.
They're allowed to.
At the end of the day, a televised wrestling company aren't going to portray themselves as a joke. Not intentionally, anyway. Whether they did or not, debatable. But again, I think that they just realised that what the direction they were getting was incredible, and I think they just thought they'd run with it. And I'm guessing a lot of credit has to go to Matt for creating that character and developing that character as it is, because again, I actually look forward to watching Impact now, which you're like, yeah, okay, that's an incredible statement for me to make. I actually look forward to watching Impact, and I watch it on purpose, not and I think you're selling it short, to be honest with you. But I know, I kind of get what you're saying.
I don't think I am. Broken brilliance from Matt Hardy.
And I find myself
has been amazing to watch.
Yeah, and I'm consistently entertained by Matt's antics every week. It's just amazing. What was it? You're going to mention it in the Superstar of the Week, aren't you? So,
he is the star of the week.
Yeah,
he is the star of the week. More on that later when we unveil for the first time ever anywhere in the known world fantasy wrestling on the radio. And this will be the listeners' chance to get involved, and they can play along too.
It's going to be good.
It is, very much so. And you can do, if you've got any thoughts about what we're going to talk about tonight, you can text us 07399 085508, or you can email studio@beyondradio.co.uk. Also, go to Facebook and join the group that is this programme is scheduled for 1-4. We also have a hashtag, don't we?
We do.
We do.
I think you should read it out as an not as a word, but as the abbreviation.
Yeah, but I want to make it clear that when we discussed the name for this show, I didn't actually realise what the acronym was.
No.
Because it is a little bit risque.
It is. Yeah.
We are.
It was
after 9
accidental.
o'clock, though. We are after 9 o'clock.
Still, though.
What is it?
Oh, it's
I'm not saying it.
TPISO. Hang on. Is it FOF? TSIFOF.
No, it's
TPIS.
See, why'd you ask me to do it?
TPIS FOF.
Yes, there we go.
If you want to write that down and try and pronounce it at home, there's
You'll see it on the
Enjoy.
Facebook group and stuff like that, and you'll see it on Twitter as well.
Hashtag TPIS FOF.
And if you want to go on Twitter, you can go to @OneFallBeyond. I'll put the song on in a bit because I forgot to. But we will have more of stuff in a bit, including an interview that you did.
Oh, yes. I can't wait for that. That's going to be amazing.
We're going to play that.
It's a big revelation.
We're going to play that in a second. A little bit of music now. You'll know what this is if you've tuned in. You'll automatically know what it is.
Oh, God. Not him.
Yes, him.
Oh.
Had to be done. So you're listening to One Fall here on Beyond Radio. My name's SilentMark. With me, as always, are Greg the Truth Lambert and Mr. Evil Lewis.
Look, Mark, I'm doing all kinds of crazy, weird stuff with my hands.
Ooh.
Look, listeners, look how mesmerising and cool I am. Yeah.
You're not impressed, are you, Greg?
You look like Mick Foley's second cousin.
Thanks.
There's nothing wrong with being Mick
Thank
Foley's
you.
second cousin.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Mick Foley's ace.
Even though that's clearly not how it was intended. No. Lambert.
To be fair, you do look vaguely lumberjackish.
Thank you.
Welcome.
What was Nakamura wearing on NXT this week?
What? Yeah, I think, right, that he just thinks that's how Americans dress.
The man's got great teeth as well.
I guess
why does he wear a gum shield?
I don't know.
He should be showing those teeth off. He's obviously clearly protective of
I was
them.
going to say, it's probably that
clearly
for that
that's
very
why
reason,
clearly that's why he still has great teeth, because of said gum shield.
Right.
In Japan, where they just knee each other in the face for a living,
Okay.
I think a gum shield is wise.
Well,
if you want to retain all
that's
your
a
teeth.
reasonable explanation. But can you
Yeah.
explain one thing to me?
I don't know. Can I?
Why doesn't he get that incontinence problem checked?
I'm sorry.
Well, the way he does, he's always shaking and quivering, and it's like he needs the toilet all 24/7. What's the matter with him?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get this Nakamura love.
I think he's just so full of
what
it.
it's all about.
I like him, to be fair, because he's different. There's something interesting about him.
I don't get it. He's got hair like some like he's doing the Japanese Human League tribute,
Okay.
and he wears knockoff PVC red pants,
They might be genuine PVC red pants, for all you know.
and they call him the King of Strong Style, and he
Yeah.
does a couple of kicks and a knee.
He's in
And then where Corey Graves goes mad and,
Yeah.
and screams the capital of Zaire for no apparent reason, and he wins a match. I don't get it.
Okay. I mean, calm down. At the end of the day, he can't work the same style that he was working in Japan in WWE. You know this. It's a different style. It's a different system.
I hope Samoa Joe muscle busts him into next week.
Well, yeah, that's
And that's going to happen. It's going to happen this Saturday night.
yeah. Coming up this Saturday night, we've got NXT Takeover Brooklyn. The main event of which will be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship.
And me and Joe go way back. Personal friend.
Personal friend.
Oh, yes.
You got history, have you?
Indeed, we have, yeah.
Okay.
Christmas cards and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we appeared on the same show back in 2003. A couple of times, actually, but 2003, first ever Ring of Honor appearance in the UK.
Yeah.
I was there.
So no prizes for
Rubbing
guessing.
shoulders with the Samoan submission machine.
No prizes for guessing who your pick for that match is. Then
Oh, absolutely.
Samoa Joe.
Joe all the way.
Okay. It's not a bad pick. I mean, he's an incredibly dominant force in wrestling and in NXT. He's successfully fended off all challengers since he won the title. I think Nakamura's got a good chance, to be honest with you. He's undefeated as of yet in NXT, as far as I know. Again, as you've mentioned, incredibly popular, much to your chagrin. And I don't know.
Chagrin.
Chagrin. There's a
like
word.
it, I like it.
Words, Mark. Look it up. Yeah, I think I can see Nakamura as NXT champion. I don't know if that's going to happen this Saturday, but I can totally see him as NXT champion in the not-too-distant future.
I'll give him credit. He's cool. He's charismatic. He is different, as you say.
Yeah.
What I don't get is I don't understand this overwhelming, passionate love that so many of the hardcore wrestling fans have for this man. They put him on a pedestal as some kind of deity.
Smart fans, Greg.
I
Smart
prefer
fans.
No Way Jose.
Smart fans.
No Way Jose. When it comes to charisma, sorry, but he has Shinsuke Nakamura's number.
See, No Way Jose, he's fun, but I can't like him yet. I don't hate him, but I don't know what it is about him yet.
He can bring the Fiesta and he can turn it into a fight, Lewis.
He totally
so
can.
Bear in mind.
He absolutely can, and
I think
claims
he'll beat
he will
Austin
this
Aries.
Saturday against Austin
That's
Aries.
my prediction. I think he'll beat Austin Aries.
I think he should beat Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries has been incredibly underwhelming since he debuted at NXT, and for whatever reason, he needs to sort that out. But I don't know. No Way Jose. There's something missing for me with him.
Haircut?
No, his haircut's pretty cool. I don't know. He's I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I can't put my finger in what it is that I don't really like about him. I don't hate him. I'm just kind of a little bit indifferent.
Well, when it comes to fantasy
I don't know
wrestling,
what Mark's
Lewis,
currently dying about.
When it comes to fantasy wrestling, enough about what you're going to put your finger, Lewis. When it comes to fantasy wrestling,
I'm pretty sure I said put my finger on, not put my finger in. But okay, either or.
whether you're gonna, wherever you're going to put it,
Okay.
you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. If that's not a euphemism as well.
Sure.
And you've got to pick Shinsuke Nakamura for your fantasy wrestling team.
I've got to pick him for my fantasy wrestling
Well,
team.
you're clearly in love with the man.
We'll do that after this next
He's a
slot.
great wrestler. Come on.
Stop the argument. We'll do this after this next slot. So, coming up, ladies and gents, we have got more talk about NXT and also SummerSlam that's coming up this weekend.
Raw, SmackDown.
Exactly.
Those things as well.
We've got all of that all in the next 40 minutes.
So much to
Don't know
cram
how
in,
we're gonna
Mark.
get it.
So much to cram in. You need a
Yes.
shoehorn or a funnel.
Yes,
Or-
yes, we do.
I'm not going to say.
In 10 minutes' time, we are launching the only and ever fantasy wrestling team competition. Greg's going to be talking about that in a second. But firstly, Greg, you're going to talk about an interview you did,
Yes.
which we shall now play.
Indeed, yes. So let me explain the background. Okay. Alpha Omega Wrestling is Morecambe's wrestling promotion. And they run shows regularly at the Winter Gardens in Morecambe. Got a big show coming up on Saturday, September the 17th. Tickets are still available, by the way. Just go to the website, aowuk.com. Or pop in, if you're in Morecambe, pop into Studio Bronze on Queen Street. Get a tan, buy a wrestling ticket. All in a day's work. Anyway, in Alpha Omega Wrestling, I used to be the majority shareholder. I got unceremoniously
Emphasise the
dumped.
word used to, sir.
Unceremoniously dumped. How disgraceful the way they treat me when I'm a Morecambe icon. So basically, Chris Ridgway, my good friend, employed me as his manager. And ever since then, I've been trying to get revenge on one man. That man is the Alpha Omega Wrestling champion, Styx, who is responsible for me no longer being in charge. And Styx, coincidentally, hasn't lost a wrestling match in Morecambe for 8.5 years. Put that in context, Mark. What have you managed to do continuously for 8.5 years?
Or not do.
I'm not allowed to say that on radio.
Not allowed. No.
It's an incredible streak.
What have I not?
Lewis
what
is
have I-
wash,
yeah.
clearly, but
What have I not done in 8.5? What have I succeeded in not doing for 8.5 years? Succeeding.
you've succeeded in not succeeding.
Yes, I've succeeded in not succeeding for 8 years.
Well, that's very good. Well, Styx has succeeded in succeeding.
Yes.
Because he hasn't lost a match in Morecambe for 8.5 years, and that includes matches at the Dome, God rest its soul, at the Carlton, God rest its soul.
That's
So many
coming
venues
back.
have closed down. The Hexagon, that's still open, I think, just. Globe Arena, all these great venues in Morecambe, and he hasn't lost at all. And I've been trying to find someone to beat him.
Yeah.
And as of yet, it's not gone entirely to plan. However, September 17th, I found the man who's going to do it. I've scoured the length and breadth of the country. I'm going to play this little interview that I did yesterday and reveal the identity of this gentleman.
Here we go.
So, listeners, this is Greg the Truth Lambert. On this programme is scheduled for one fall, and you're extremely lucky because I'm going to make the big revelation right now. I have been scouring the whole of the world to find the man who is finally going to break the Styx streak after 8.5 turgid years of this man no one has been able to beat him in Morecambe. This man is going to get the job done on September the 17th at Morecambe Winter Gardens. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you this man right now. Sir, if you would like to tell us your name, make yourself known, explain to the listeners your credentials and why you're the man to break the stick streak.
Well, everybody should recognise this voice, because this is the voice of Yorkshire's biggest star, UK's biggest star, the standout of the past decade, the show stealer, Nathan Cruz. I've heard, as you just mentioned, Greg, I've heard so much about Styx's reputation, his undefeated streak in Morecambe, and how big it's become. It's almost become bigger than the championship there in Morecambe. So for me to return, because I don't think I've competed in Morecambe for about 4 years now, to be able to return and compete against Styx, and not compete against Styx, to defeat Styx, to be the one that ends the streak. This is going to be my big return to Morecambe, and I'm pretty sure people remember everything that I've done there before in the past, the reputation that I built for myself there, the reputation that I've built for myself across the United Kingdom, across Europe. This is going to be just going to be another trophy in the case, so to speak.
It could almost be on a T-shirt, couldn't it, Nathan? You're going to break the streak, steal the show. That's what you do. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Absolutely. And Styx, I've been obsessed with breaking this streak, and I've brought in so many different guys over the past year who have come so close, and I've noticed Styx getting closer and closer to the edge. He's looking a broken man. I think he's struggling physically, and you, Nathan, while Styx is nursing his injuries and dealing with the pressure of having to try and maintain the streak and keep the Alpha Omega Wrestling Championship time in, time out, you're out there, you're on the road, you're wrestling every day, up and down the country, staying sharp, staying focused. This is part of the reason why I think you've got what it takes to beat him. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, certainly. You can say that the disadvantage for Styx is the fact that is his age. The fact is his body's now catching up on him. He's been doing this so long. But then again, I'd still say experience is probably in my court. As you mentioned, I'm up and down this country full time. I'm across Europe full time. Later on this year, I go over to America and I'm there for 3 weeks and I'm wrestling. When I'm there for those 3 weeks, I'm wrestling 18 days. I'm non-stop. I do this as a full-time occupation. And there is no off-season. There's no time where this isn't what I'm thinking about. This isn't what I'm not doing. It really is my life. So if there's anybody that can come in and defeat Styx, I'm more than confident in my own ability, my own experience. I'm very familiar with Styx in his career. I genuinely believe that I know his weak areas. I'm not going to reveal them because they're going to be my targets, so I'm going to attack, and what's going to inevitably lead me to victory.
And just for the uneducated out there, I know there's a lot of them listening to this show who haven't followed your career as the show stealer, Nathan Cruz. I just want you, Nathan, to explain to these people the championships that you've won, the names that you've beaten, the names that you've been in the ring with, just to explain what kind of level of performer the show stealer Nathan Cruz is.
Well, for all those uneducated ilk that have no idea just who I am, I've been a professional wrestler now for 10 years, 6 of them as a full-time occupation. I was the first ever Progress Wrestling Champion, which is a promotion based out in London that's now making waves across the world. I'm a 2-time New Generation Wrestling Champion. I defeated Al Shane for the show stealer name back in 2010. I was the youngest full-time professional wrestler when I turned professional at 19. There was nobody who was at the same age as me but wrestling at the capacity that I was in Europe. There was nobody matching that. And since then, I've held the Progress Wrestling Tag Team Championship twice. I've competed, like I say, all over Europe. I go over to America soon. I've competed even for the WWE. I've defeated the likes of Jeff Jarrett. I've defeated the likes of Gangrel. I've competed against Fit Finlay, Danny Collins, Bob Brookside. You know, name the who's who of British wrestling. I've either been in the ring with them, been taught by them, such as Marty Jones, Johnny Sin, or Johnny Cage, who I've had the privilege of being under the guidance of on more than one occasion. You know, victories over people such as James Mason, Bruno Allmark, and Rob Dynamite, two of this generation's biggest veterans that have both been in the ring with me, have both fallen to me. Rampage Brown, someone who is an unstoppable machine in professional wrestling in this country. And once again, the amount of times I've gone toe to toe with him, the amount of times that I've actually defeated Rampage Brown on huge scales. Again, Rampage Brown is someone who sticks knows. I've made quite a career for myself, not to toot my own horn, but I think everybody, if you can just smell that, right, that's fear. That's fear that Styx has, knowing that the show steal Nathan Cruz is his next challenger for the streak, because he knows that if anybody in this country is going to be able to take him down and end that streak, it's me.
And I 120% agree with you, Nathan. And with all the people that I've managed in my storied wrestling career, I would just like to say that it's going to be an absolute honour for me personally to be in your corner on September the 17th at Golden Chance. It's one more chance for me, but it's your golden chance to become an absolute legend and steal the show, break the streak, become Alpha Omega Wrestling Champion. I'm so looking forward to it, sir. Thank you so much for doing me the honour of letting me manage you on this auspicious occasion.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. There's one more thing that I'd like to achieve before I leave this country and go on to great things.
Well, it's going to happen. Show stealer Nathan Cruz, thank you very much. And Styx, be shaking in your shoes, pal, because Show Stealer's coming for you at Golden.
This is Beyond Radio.
That stopped pretty sharpish then, didn't it? So there we go. That was Greg Lambert's interview with Nathan Cruz.
How are you feeling about that then?
Who's Nathan Cruz, Lou?
Who's Nathan Cruz? Have you been listening?
Yeah.
I think you completely thick?
I think it was that guy who was just on the phone.
No, I just wanted that reaction.
This guy's going to break the streak on September the 17th, and then he's going to go to the WWE. I'm telling you, this guy will be an international star for years to come, and he's going to start on his path to glory at Golden Chance. You better get your tickets, because it's going to be a happening. 8.5 years. Styx has beaten everybody. He won't beat this guy, and you need to be there. You need to be able to tell your grandchildren that you were there the night the Styx streak died.
You seem pretty confident, Greg. I've got to say.
I'm always confident.
Yeah.
I'm particularly confident in Nathan Cruz because the guy's got everything. He's got brains. He's got wrestling skill. Like I said in that interview, he's up and down the country at the moment, wrestling in massive town hall venues, holiday camps, up and down the country, just facing the best that British and European and world wrestling has to offer. And he'll be razor sharp come September the 17th. While Styx is basically ready for the rocking chair.
I mean, you have managed numerous challenges to Styx's streak.
Yeah.
All of whom you've been equally confident in.
And have they necessarily gone well?
Not one of them's stolen the show, though, have they? Not one of them's been a show stealer. Not one of them beat the guy I used to manage, Alex Shane, for that very name, when he was just 19 years old. Nathan Cruz did that. Nathan Cruz, how many of them were the first ever Progress Wrestling champion? The credentials Progress Wrestling has now around the country.
Yep. Sure.
Nathan Cruz did that. So, he's going to be the one to end the streak. He's a man of first. He's a man who makes a career out of breaking the mold, pioneering. It's going to happen.
Well, we're going to find out on September 17th, aren't we?
We are.
We are.
We are going to find out.
Look at what's those few fighting words there, Lewis.
No, we are going to find out.
We're going to find out. Look at the
I'm impartial.
bass in your voice.
I'm impartial. I'm the intrepid interviewer for AOW.
He has to be impartial.
I don't have an opinion.
Well, that's true.
I don't get paid to have an opinion.
You don't have a good one.
No. Well, that's debatable as well, but
Let's debate it right now. Actually,
No,
no,
no.
let's not,
we
because
don't
we've got
have time.
something else to talk about right
We
now,
do,
haven't
but
we?
whilst you're in a positive frame of mind, sir, and whilst you're very confident, shall we say, we do have something coming up for you in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Very soon. But first, we are going to go on with the fantasy wrestling. So tell us about it.
Oh, fantasy
Tell us the
wrestling.
idea.
Fantasy wrestling, well, the idea is, it'd be nice for this show to be like the Fantasy Football League of wrestling shows.
Yeah.
It's been about 20 years since we had anything like that.
Are we going to sing the awful song?
No.
No, we're not
Oh.
going to do that.
No.
Oh.
What? You don't mean Three Lions, do you? That was a great
No,
song.
like fantasy
No,
wrestling,
stop
fantasy wrestling,
My
fantasy wrestling, like that.
No.
God, you make Gillian Hall sound like Russell Watson.
I have dulcet tones, I'll have you know, Greg.
Does dulcet mean bad?
No.
Oh, okay.
So basically, fantasy wrestling. The idea is very simple similar to like all the fantasy football leagues you might have seen in the paper. You get a budget, £150 million. You've got to pick 11 wrestlers. And we're talking wrestlers from the main television shows that are available to most people, hopefully, throughout the UK. We're talking about WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA Impact Wrestling. Did I say 5? I meant 4. That's 4. And the idea generally, I think, is to just try and get as many points as possible. You score points for if your wrestler wins a match. You lose points if your wrestler does not appear on television. You gain extra points if your wrestler wins a championship. You gain even more points if your wrestler wins a main event on a pay-per-view. And you get the highest points of the week if your wrestler is deemed by me, the general manager of fantasy wrestling, self-proclaimed general manager of fantasy wrestling, if you have the star of the week in your team. Also, you lose points if you have, with the greatest honour and respect to Eli Drake, the dummy of the week in your team. So, basically, just to give you an idea.
You said 11. Have I misunderstood the rules, or is that just how many you've got?
No, you've got to pick 11 wrestlers.
I thought it was 2 from each group plus 1 wild card.
Yeah, but you've got to pick 11.
2 minimum from each group.
Ah.
2 minimum, which means
Well, then I may have completely botched this. And
you have completely botched it and picked 9, haven't you?
No, I don't know. I haven't even counted. Let's see.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do what Evil Lewis hasn't and read the rules that are now published on the Facebook group for this program is scheduled for in full. All the rules are on there, but do explain a little bit more, Greg. So tell us about what this week would have had.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you what. I got my son, Owen. Congratulations on your A-level results, son, first of all. Chip off the old block.
And well done to everyone else got their A-level results today.
No, just well done to Owen.
Okay,
No one else counts.
Fair enough.
Now, we'll talk about Owen's team. Owen picked a team without really understanding much about wrestling. He picked his team's called #GoForBroke.
Did he have to hashtag it?
No, he's just from that generation where
fair
everything has a hashtag in front of it. So he picked, and basically, like I said, you got 5 pools to pick from, and the pools are WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, and the wild cards. You've got to pick 2 minimum from the first 4 of those groups, and then 1. You must pick 1 wild card. So to give you an idea, Owen from Raw, he picked Seth Rollins. Top price, £25 million. But a guy who will, no doubt, appear on television regularly, maybe win you a few matches, maybe win you some championships, so he will accumulate you points. So it's a good move. He also picked Charlotte, the former women's champion. £15 million as his second pick from Raw, another very solid pick. His 2 picks from SmackDown were John Cena, £25 million. And then he picked Rhino, £3 million. Rhino, who's just returned to WWE TV, doesn't appear week in, week out, hence he has a lower value because the people with a higher value are the ones that the WWE are likely to put on television more.
Yeah.
But besides, you can't pick all the top guys because you've only got $150 million to play with. So you've got to go inside the budget. From NXT, he picked Bobby Roode. Glorious. Best theme tune ever. £15 million. Good pick. Bobby Roode's just arriving in NXT. He's got a big pay-per-view match with Andre Cien Almas coming up this weekend at TakeOver. And no doubt he's going to be on that television show and winning matches and championships going forward, if I'm allowed to say that phrase, because it sounds really corporate and horrible. He also picked from NXT Samoa Joe, the champion, £25 million. Again, an extremely solid pick. From Impact Wrestling, he went for Broken Matt Hardy, who I've already said would have been my star of the week this week, and that would have got him 10 points.
Okay.
Although we haven't started yet, so it hasn't. But because, again, he had to pick somebody of lower value to balance the books, he went for Andrew Everett from the Helms dynasty at $3 million. Well, you never know. He might end up as a TNA Tag Team Champion, so it could work out. That could be a bargain. Finishing off from basically, you can pick a wild card. One wild card, he went for Vince McMahon.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps not a best move. Vince hasn't been on TV for months, but you never know. He may appear and then appear forever because Vince writes the show and he can do what he wants.
Yeah.
And to finish off, he could pick any two other people from any of the pools. He went for Buddy Murphy.
Okay.
$3 million. Former tag team champion from NXT.
Yeah.
Now loses all the time since Alexa went to SmackDown. And Robbie E from the Bromans at $7 million. And that made £149 million. He was £1 million within budget. He adhered to all the rules. That's his team. Go for broke. It's an interesting strategy. He seems to have gone for some big names.
Yeah.
It's quite top-heavy, big names, but then a lot of names that, may not get the job done. Is that the right approach, Lewis? Lewis, what approach have you gone for?
I've gone for completely disregarding all the rules and picking 15 people. So I'm going to have to go home and pick a new squad, which you'll find out about next week.
Oh, Lou.
I'm not part of your system.
Right.
Screw your rules.
God.
Okay. It's
Well,
one
you
way of
have
doing
until
it, I
Sunday,
guess.
because the thing is about fantasy wrestling, if the people who are listening want to enroll in fantasy wrestling, they have got to post their squad of 11 on the Facebook page before midnight on Sunday.
Okay.
So before SummerSlam starts, basically, because the season runs from Monday. When Monday Night Raw airs on Monday night, the season starts from there and goes right the way through till WrestleMania 33.
Okay.
And you will score points. At the end of that, we will find out who the fantasy wrestling champion is. And you good people, you can enter a team. And we're only looking for 9 entrants because we already have 3. We have Owen, we go for broke, and we have you if you eventually sort your
Well, it's a
life
good job
out.
my place is already kind of spoken for, isn't it? Otherwise,
It is really.
by the time I get my squad together, there'd be no places left. So,
And Mark, as the MC of this show, I will allow you to have a team as well.
Well, thank you very much. You're a gent. So that's coming up. So get in touch on the Facebook group. Have we had any people messaging yet? Good sir. We shall have a check.
Give them a chance. Most of them probably don't understand the rules.
it's going to take a while for people to figure out.
It
I
is.
mean, even completely disregarding the rules, it still took me a good half an hour to finalise my inflated squad of 15. So, what can you do? So, yeah.
But it's interesting. What do you do? It's an interesting choice. Who would you pick, Mark? Who would you pick from the wild cards? You've only got one pick.
Already picked it.
Are you going to reveal it?
Foley.
You've gone for Foley.
I've gone for Foley.
Right.
Because he's going to be a regular on Raw. I've just got a feeling he's going to be there quite a bit.
Okay. What happens if he fails the dress code and gets fired?
I think there's only one way he'd fail the dress code, and that's if he came on without clothes.
Maybe
Oh my God.
He might run out of
Do you
Christmas
really
ties.
want to see that?
Well, I know that really brings a whole new meaning to Holy Foley.
Exactly, yes.
But that could happen, and that's the point, you see, is you've got to be careful because, you could pick somebody who you think is an absolute can't miss. They could get injured. They could be suspended. They could be fired. And then you've got to come cap in hand to me, the GM, for a replacement. You can actually ask for a replacement, but you've got to have a very justifiable reason to replace anyone in your squad during the season.
One
Very,
question.
very good. Oh, go on.
Obviously, it's fantasy wrestling. Is this going to follow actual current wrestling? Is this like the superstars of the week, the wins, the losses? Is that following actual wrestling that's happening,
No,
or is it going to be a parallel universe of wrestling?
It's just whatever I feel like.
Okay, fair
I'll
enough.
just do it on a whim.
Yeah.
Like this week, the star of the week, Broken Matt Hardy. He hypnotised a fan for crying out loud. I've never seen anything.
The fan cried out loud.
The fan was crying out loud. He was crying delete, delete, delete.
Okay, fair enough.
He was. And that would get you 10 points. If you have Broken Matt Hardy in your squad, and we were playing fantasy wrestling right now, you would get 10 points because I have chosen him as the star of the week. The dummy of the week, and that would actually lose you 10 points this week, will be Heath Slater
Okay.
because he stupidly got in the ring with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
He did.
Got battered.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a numbskull.
It's never a great idea to go in the ring with Brock Lesnar.
And then started talking about his kids.
Right.
Not a smart move.
Also, possibly even, maybe not even dumber, but then the following night on SmackDown, he got in the ring with Brock Lesnar's opponent at SummerSlam, Randy Orton. And with the agreement was that Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, the GMs and CEOs of SmackDown, basically said that if he won the match, he would get his SmackDown contract, which he has been he's the hottest free agent in wrestling. He's trying to get signed to one of the brands because he wasn't drafted when they did the draft a few weeks ago. And basically, Randy Orton went mental. So much intensity that he's got kind of built up for Brock on Sunday. Got himself disqualified, which meant that Heath Slater actually technically won his match. He came off worse, but he won the match. Now, backstage, he seemed like he had been hit by a truck. He was dazed. He was confused. He was lying on a stretcher. The trainers were looking at him. Shane and Daniel had the contract ready for him to sign, and because he was so out of it, he basically mistook them for Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley, and he was about to sign the contract. And what I thought was a bit of it wasn't a very nice move from Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. They basically took his contract away from under him as he was about to sign it, just because he wasn't sure who he was, who they were, where he was. Words are my tools. I thought that was really mean-spirited of them.
Well, that would cause a problem with fantasy.
Give the guy a break. Do you know what I mean?
That would cause a problem with fantasy wrestling because you get points for appearing on a show.
Okay.
Do you get points for if somebody thinks you're on the show but you're not? Well, the answer is no. So I'm sorry, you would not get points if Heath Slater mistook a superstar for somebody who wasn't there. That just wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
But you can actually pick Heath Slater as your wild card. £7 million.
Fair enough.
Cheap at half the price.
So them's the rules, ladies and sirs. Get in touch. Go to the Facebook group for this show. This program is scheduled for one fall, and you can join in. First, how many people is it, Greg?
We want 9 people.
So the first 9 people to get in touch.
Round number.
It is.
First come, first served.
Yeah, first come, first served. First 9 people to get in touch and give us their teams can join in. It'd be lovely to hear from you. So we're going to play a song in a second, but I'm going to throw my cards onto the table.
You've got cards?
Yes.
We've been here the whole time. We could have been playing cards.
I know. It would have been
Come on, Mark. You're holding out on me.
We had the idea to do, it was on Twitter and stuff like that. We had the idea of giving each other wrestling dares, if you will. Trying to figure out what to do. I've said, because I'm the MC, I'm going to give the first dare. And it's a dare to you, Greg. Because you were feeling a bit confident in yourself, and it goes with the gentleman that I mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Gentleman?
Bobby Roode?
No. Good sir. Me, SilentMark, I dare you, Greg the Truth Lambert, to record Johnny Fear reciting poetry.
What?
Yep. I would like you, good sir, to get the psychotic warrior, Johnny Fear, to recite some poetry so we can play it on the show.
This wasn't in my contract.
That's madness, Mark.
I know.
No, I don't have a contract. No, that's madness.
Hang on, no.
Listen, hang on a second. This is the guy that ram-slammed me at the Winter Gardens in May. He dropped me on my back. I landed really badly on my arm, and I still have trouble getting my expensive overcoat on and off, even to this day.
So would you not count that as retribution?
To get him to recite poetry?
Why not embarrass Johnny Fear live on radio?
Yeah, but how do I get near enough to him without him tearing my head off? He's the psychotic warrior.
He's psychotic, but there are ways. I mean, you've got a backlog of people that are, on your side.
How long do I have to get this dare? Do this dare?
What do you reckon, Lou?
I don't know. Depends how long it's going to take. Depends what opportunities Greg's going to have to approach Johnny Fear. The next obvious opportunity would be on September 17th at the Morecambe Winter Gardens.
I'll tell you what.
Is next week too soon?
Right, no, I'll tell you what. I'll do it in 7 days on condition that I can come back here and dare one of you two if I'm successful.
You up for that?
I guess. Still, though, I mean, Mark, I'm not even. I'm not a fan of Greg Lambert.
I will take my own life in my hands. I will approach that deranged lunatic while he's doing wind sprints or typing on social media in block capitals for no apparent reason.
Probably
Whatever he does, training, moaning about his injuries, training, whatever else he does with his sordid, pathetic life. I will. He's not listening, is he? I will approach him and I will do your dare. I will do your wrestling dare.
Deal.
That's harsh, Mark. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Greg Lambert, but that's a death sentence, surely.
Can I give a shout out to Dean Puckering, though, who is a listener to the show? Hello, Dean.
Go on, hello, Dean.
Very good dare he came up with on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
This programme is scheduled for one fall. He said he would dare The Undertaker to come out to Billy and Chuck's theme tune.
Yeah, nice try.
What about you? If you could dare anyone, any wrestler to do anything, Lewis.
You're putting me on the spot here.
Brock Lesnar wear a tutu, anything like that, whatever you feel like.
That's an obvious suggestion. I don't know.
New Day, Weetabix, I don't know.
Like Dean Ambrose to come out and like hit someone with a light tube.
Doesn't he do that pretty much all the time anyway?
No, he used to, but that'd be amusing on a level in WWE for them to just kind of break the norm and have him do that.
Okay, you're a sick and sadistic man, Mark.
Yes, I am.
I would dare Brock Lesnar to come out to circus music on one of those really small little clown bikes.
He'd crush it, surely. He wouldn't fit.
Come on, one of them like that.
Brilliant.
That would be amazing.
That would be a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've just imagined it as well. That is as funny as I thought it would be.
You're a maniac, Mark.
Thank you very much. Anyway, so that's coming up in the next 7 days. You've got time as well to do your fantasy wrestling league. I'm going to play a song now. We'll come back in a second.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all paid.
Thank you to Daniel Stenbridge for suggesting the
Soon the geeks
classy Freddie Blassie classic, as he used to call the great manager from WWE. He used to call people pencil neck geeks. He was obviously referring to
You should use that as your theme
both
tune,
of
Greg.
you.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
should
quite
use that
like-
from now on.
I quite like Rose from the Dead by Theatre of Tragedy.
I think this one suits you.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So we're coming to the end of the show. We've got 9 minutes left. This has gone really, really quickly.
It has.
We need
Really
2 hours.
Yeah.
We do. When
So-
we came up with the idea, we thought, let's do 1 hour. Nope.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to fill 2 hours talking about wrestling every week. You mad? So, SummerSlam.
Yes.
Sunday night. The biggest show of the summer. TM. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got lineup for it. We've got a card.
It's like a 4-hour show as well, I believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of SummerSlam and WrestleMania, the two biggest shows of the WWE calendar. Yeah, what have we got?
We
What's
have got Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and someone else.
I guess that's going to be on the pre-show, right?
Yeah,
Nikki
probably.
Glencross. We want to see Nikki. Former
That
Nikki
would be
Storm.
good. That would be
brilliant.
good.
Made a
Made a
debut on NXT this week.
She
It
did.
was fantastic.
Yep.
Great British wrestler.
She was amazing.
Former Alpha Omega wrestler as well.
Absolutely.
So, quick predictions, gents. What do you think? Who do you think will go there?
For that match?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really bothered, are they?
Becky Lynch won't win. She never does.
No, which I don't like. I really
No,
like
I think it's good.
I really like Becky
She needs to
Lynch.
be she's the sort of person that the more you beat her, the more sympathy you'd have for her. So I think it's yeah. Mark just getting that image in his head about the more you beat Becky Lynch.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
You just can't.
let's move on from that one.
Cesaro versus Sheamus.
Okay. You know that they're having a 7-match series.
Yeah.
I thought that they'd already had a feud. I'm bored of that feud already. Come on. But 7 matches. It'll go one way or the other way. Come on.
So for the first match, who do you think will win?
What I don't know. Just pick one. I'll flip a coin. Cesaro. There you go.
There you go.
Who cares?
Greg?
I don't know. Jack Gallagher.
See, he doesn't
Okay,
care.
fair
either.
enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I just want to get mentioning for all the Brits that are on WWE TV at the moment.
The Miz versus Apollo Crews.
Cruz needs to get some momentum behind him. He really does.
Yes, he does.
But if it's for the Intercontinental title, The Miz is going to win.
Okay. Greg?
I would love to see Apollo win. Former PCW champion. Worked with him many times. He's a lovely guy. Can't see it though.
No.
Can't see it.
He needs it, but I can't see it.
No.
I agree with Greg on that one.
Enzo and Kaz versus Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. A tag team that I have no idea why they came up with that.
Jericho, as they're calling them, are gold. Pure, solid gold.
The only thing we have agreed on in this entire show.
They opened Raw this week, and it was the highlight of Raw for me. Referring to the interviewer Tom Phillips by a different name every time they addressed him. Kevin Owens is fantastic.
Kevin Owens is fantastic.
As is Chris Jericho. You put them together, you've got possibly my new favourite tag team in wrestling.
I'd like to see them win.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, fair enough. The New Day versus Gallows and Anderson.
This is an interesting one. I think Gallows and Anderson could win this.
Yeah.
I think they've got a good shot at the tag team titles. Whether or not they're going to take them at SummerSlam, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them get the belts this Sunday.
It may be time for the New Day's reign to end.
Yeah.
I would go with that.
Okay.
They've got it's a record-breaking reigns that they've got. So, everything's all good things have got to come to an end at some point. So I think maybe this Sunday could be the day.
Very true. Next one, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte.
Sasha probably is going to keep the belt and win that one. I think
too soon for Charlotte to win it back, I would have thought.
Yeah, fair enough. Rusev versus Roman Reigns.
Interesting one.
It's the first time I watched Raw this week, and it's the first time I've ever seen people cheer Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
For a long while.
Testament to Rusev. He's fantastic. He's so
brilliant.
good at being a bad guy that he has done what no one else has managed to do, which is get Roman Reigns over and get the fans behind him. Who'd have thought that would be possible?
I know.
Certainly not I. Not I. But no, I think Rusev will probably retain the belt, maybe due to some shenanigans. Lana's going to cause a distraction, something like that. But it's quite nice to see people getting behind Roman Reigns for once, to be honest with you. Greg?
Tough one, really, because you could say that Reigns' United States Championship run might be a good thing for him.
Yeah.
Then again, as they want him to be popular, so perhaps the best thing to do is have him lose with, some kind of screwy finish and keep him chasing for the time being. So, yeah, I think that probably is what will happen, actually. Yeah.
With that in mind, John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Well, I'd love to see AJ Styles win.
Yeah.
Really would.
Do you think it'll be a Styles win with shenanigans or clean?
No, I'd like to see AJ beat him clean.
Yeah.
But I don't know quite where
happen.
the story would go if that was to happen.
I don't think that'll happen.
I'm going to go with it. I think AJ's going to beat him.
Fair enough. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler.
Interesting. I think Ziggler might win this,
Yeah.
It's as far out as that seems. Ziggler lately has been showing a lot of promise and a lot more character than he's shown in a long time. And he's looking like he's kind of going to go full-blown heel mode in the near future. So I think Ziggler, as a bad guy, could make a good champion. I don't know. It seems really far-fetched, but on this week he kind of just super kicked Dean Ambrose out of nowhere during an in-ring segment, and I think it's possible. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen, but you never know.
I think Ambrose will retain.
Yeah. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, the first Universal Championship.
Finn Boring versus Seth Rollins.
You don't like Finn Balor?
No, he's one of the most. He's one of the most overrated wrestlers.
If Carlsberg did ring entrances,
his entrance is fantastic,
and in the ring,
and then the bell rings, and it's boring.
Slick and
come on,
everything
he
does
Greg.
looks amazing, and he's got great fire and charisma, and the crowd love him.
There's nothing he does that other wrestlers on the roster don't do better.
I don't agree.
Well, you're wrong. Simple.
No, I have an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion.
You have the wrong opinion.
You like Shinsuke Nakamura. What's
exactly.
the matter with you?
Well,
we'll go on with this next week.
I think Balor will win.
I think so. I think so too.
Okay.
But I'm rooting for Rollins, the man, Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
that's where
Balor will win.
Okay, we'll go more on that with that next week, and then the final match: Lesnar versus Randy Orton.
Well,
there's only really one winner, isn't there?
I would just like to, with this match, all I would like to see from this match is Randy Orton hit an RKO out of somewhere. I don't care where. Anywhere. It really doesn't bother me.
But the thing, it
doesn't
doesn't
just make a change.
He doesn't just materialise from an ethereal plane, though, does he? Every RKO he hits out of somewhere, no matter what the commentators would have us believe, no matter what we're told, no matter what we're force-fed to believe, every RKO comes out of somewhere. He doesn't just appear out of thin air. He doesn't just, there's no Randy Orton, then all of a sudden he exists and then hits the RKO. It's ridiculous.
That's all I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Someone's going to win.
Well, there we go.
Someone's going to lose.
Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose.
Unless it's a draw.
Yeah.
That's a classic Greg Lambert prediction. Though.
Well, there we go, ladies and sirs. That was their predictions for Summer Smash. Join us next week. Summer Smash? SummerSlam.
SummerSmash.
Yeah, Summer Smash.
That's like a legally safe knockoff of SummerSlam.
Yes.
Run by an indie promotion somewhere. Slam coming someday.
Love it. Here, how accurate we were next week on this show, which you call this program scheduled for 1-4. My name's been SilentMark. That has been Greg Lambert.
Yes, it has been.
And that has been Mr. Evil Lewis.
Of course it has.
And we'll have the first round of fantasy wrestling next week as well. We'll see how you all do when you pick your teams. You've still got plenty of time to do it till midnight on Sunday. Get on the Facebook group.
You have indeed. We'll see you next week, ladies and sirs. Good night.
He's a man.